7C, we have to revise. Only one exercise is coming from the graph. So that graph questions we have to do today. Today's date is 25th of April. Is it not connected or what? Yes, today's date is 25th of April 21. This is the revision worksheet of distance, time, and speed and time graph. Distance and time and speed and time graph exercise number 7C. Exercise number 7C. The first question is there. This is the distance and time graph. From the first question, we have to find out the gradient of the graph from 30 to 60 seconds. The gradient of the graph from 30 to 60 seconds. Yes, my dear students, how we are going to find out the gradient? Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so how we are revising the gradient? How we are finding the gradient?
Ma'am,
yes.
We take first the triangle.
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, gradient only we have to take. The gradient is the speed. It is a slope of the line. What is that? We can see the question is you have to find out the gradient of the graph from which point? From 30 to 60 seconds. This is a distance and this is the time that is given in the seconds. You have to find out the gradient from 30 to 60 seconds. 30 to 60 seconds means you have to find out the gradient of this line from point C to point D. So can you tell me from point C to point D, what is the y2? Y value is this one, 500. What is the second value of the y? Yes, boys, what is the second
200.
value? 200. Divided by x2 minus x1. x2 mean if we come down from this point,
60.
the value is 60 and from here the value is 30. It will be 60 minus 30. 500 minus 200 will be 300. Divided by 60 minus 30 is 30. What will be the answer?
10.
Answer will be 10 meter per second. This is the answer of your question. The gradient is the formula is this one, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. This is your y2. This is from this point. You can write even the x and y values if you want to write. Here x is 60. At this point, x is equal to 60 and y is equal to 500. Okay, at this point, x is equal to 30 and y is equal to 200. And you can just simply substitute the values and write the final answer.
Ma'am, rise over run.
Yes, rise over run also you can do. Move to question number 2. The question number 2, there is a speed and time graph. This diagram shows the speed time graph for the first 120 seconds of a car journey. 120 seconds. These are the time in second and this is a speed. Calculate the acceleration of the car during the first 25 seconds. Yes, boys, how you will do this? Acceleration is a gradient. You can write the acceleration formula here. Acceleration is equal to speed over time. Acceleration is equal to speed over time. Yes. So we have to find out, the question is, calculate the acceleration of the car during the first 25 seconds. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 25 seconds. 25 seconds means this is a point.
Yes, ma'am.
From this point, after first 25 seconds, you have to find out. So from here to here, you have to find out the acceleration of the car. Yes, what is the speed here?
20.
20.
20. And what is the time?
25.
25.
25. Calculate and tell me the answer.
0.8.
0.8 meter per second square is your answer of your acceleration. Any problem? Yes, boys, any problem?
No, ma'am, no problem.
Okay. Then the B part of the question is the same question, but its second part. Here, the same graph you have to follow, okay? The question is, calculate the distance traveled by the car in the first 120 seconds. We have to find out, calculate the distance of the car between for 120 seconds. Yes, how you will do this? Whenever we are finding the distance, so what will be the distance formula? Here the distance is equal to area that is under the graph. Area under the graph. Yes, my dear students, can you see here area, how much is the area under the graph? You can see we have one triangle. This is A1. We have one triangle. Then from this point we have a rectangle.
Yes.
Then from this point we have again one triangle. No, this is a parallelogram.
Now we can make a triangle from there. Like put a line over there.
We can you can make the triangle from the top, and then you can consider that the whole down part as a rectangle. That is also okay, but it's okay if you will go for this one A3 and then this is A4. So what is how you will find out the distance? The distance means that you have to find out the area of all these four figures. So just write the formula here, that it will be equal to, what is the first part? Area of triangle. You can write that this is A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4. A1, A2, A3 and A4. What is A1? What is this part? I will color it. What is this part? Is it a triangle? Is it a triangle? Yes, boys.
Yes, ma'am.
Formula of the triangle. 1 over 2.
Base times length.
Base into height, not length. Okay, what is the second part of the figure?
A rectangle.
It's a rectangle. So what's the formula for the rectangle?
Base times height.
Length into width. Plus, what is a third one?
Parallelogram.
It's not a parallelogram. It is a trapezium. Rectangular part is there. Parallelogram means parallelogram is this type of. Parallel sides are there. This is not the parallel sides. This is this type of. One side is straight and one side is like rectangle type, triangle type. Yes.
It's 2 A plus B over 2.
1 over 2.
multiplied by height.
Yes. Very good. 1 over 2. And we can write it as, or we can write together A plus B multiply over 2 multiplied by height. Plus, what is the fourth part? If you look at the fourth part, this one. What is this?
Rectangle.
Again, the rectangle. Length into width. Okay, now substitute the values from all this stuff. Very first triangle. What is the base? How many units are the base? 10, 20, and 25. Base is how many units?
25.
What is the height?
20.
20. Very good. This is your first part. plus what is the length and width of the second figure? 50 minus 30 is 20.
Yes.
No, we have from here, from this point 55, from 55 to 25. This is 30.
Yes.
And what is the length up to this one? Multiplied by 20. Let's go to the third figure. 1 by 2, sum of the two sides. Sum of the two sides means what are the sides? One side is 20. One side is 20. And what about the other side? That is 15. 20 plus 15. And what is the total height? Yes, boys, what is the total height from this point to this point? 65 to 55 multiplied by 10. 65 to 55, this much is 10. Plus last rectangle. What is the length of this rectangle? And what is the width? This part will be the width and this part will be the length.
Length is 55.
Length is 55. And what about the width?
Width is 15.
Width is 15. Do all the calculation and tell me the answer. Use the calculator and tell me the answer first of all for this part. 2 tens are 20 and 25 tens are 250. I'm doing that directly because I have less space here. You can go stepwise. 3 twos are 6 and with double zero. 2 fives are 10. So 20 plus 35. 35 fives are? Is it 175? Plus 55 times 15 is 825. Add all the values, that will be the final answer. $250 plus 600 plus 175 plus 825. Yes, boys, what's the answer?
It's 1850.
It is 1850. 1850 meter. This is the distance answer. So the second question is done too. You have to find out only the calculate. The question was calculate the distance traveled by car in the first 120 seconds. So we have to cover the whole graph line up to wherever it is going up to 120. We have to cover. We have to divide the area under the graph line in different portions, and there are total 4 figures are there. One is triangle, the second is rectangle, third is trapezium, and the fourth one is again rectangle. Just write the formula of all those and then substitute the values according to the graph. Yes, boys, any question, my dear, from this? Yes.
Will we be given like the area, how to calculate the area of a trapezium or something? Because like we've never done this.
Sorry, my dear, why you have never done this? You have done this area of trapezium in your grade 6, if you remember.
Yeah, that was grade 6.
Yes. So all these books are related to each other. The topics, whatever topics do you remember that when we are solving some questions regarding to the triangle, so whatever we have done in the grade 6, that also we are repeating here in grade 8. So all the topics, they are interrelated. Wherever you have the situation, we can see we are just finding under the graph line, we have to find out the area. So you can, if you feel like you have some problems like finding the area of the trapezium, you can go for that you can highlight, you can just maintain it. As you can see, I am making it here. You can go and just make the small triangle at the top, and then you can cover for whole as a rectangle. Is that okay? Do you know the area of the triangle?
Yes, ma'am.
Then it will be easy for you.
Yes.
Okay. Any other question?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay, boys. So can we go to the last question?
Ma'am, 4 minutes left.
4 minutes left, no problem. We have only one question, easy question. Yes, who will do this question number 3? Now I will not explain. The same thing. Yes, boys, quickly read the question. Who want to solve the question? Hassan, now the concepts are clear for you, how to do the graphs?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, anyone want to solve the last question?
Yes, ma'am. Me, I want to solve it.
Okay, Mubashir want to solve. Yes, Mubashir, quickly do it, beta.
Ma'am, calculate the deceleration of the cyclist. So, rise over run.
Okay.
So the
It,
points.
hmm.
It's on. It's on. 40, 45
We have
minus
to find out the deceleration.
deceleration. Yes, ma'am.
Remember that in the question, the examiner can ask you for about the acceleration or the deceleration. So don't confuse here, okay? This time, the speed of the car is decreasing. So we have to find out that deceleration means from this point to this point.
The downwards gradient.
Okay,
Yeah.
the gradient, but you have to come in this way.
The
If you
downward
go,
gradient.
yes, so what is the form? What will be the values here? If you can see the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and this point is what? Is this point is 18?
45.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
18, and this distance if you want to measure, so the distance is 2 4 2 4, no, we have here 5, two lines of 5, then 10, then 15, then 20, 25, 30, 35. This will be 35, 40, and this point is how much? 45?
45. Yes, ma'am.
45. So what is the value? What is the what will be the answer?
45 over 18
No,
minus.
it will not be 45 over 18, my dear. It will be this point. We have to see the, you can say that you can write the dy delta in y. The, what is that? 18, and change in x from this point. You have to start from this point. This is the point from where you have to find out. From this point, the car speed is going to decrease. So we have to start from this point to this point. Yes. So what is the distance here? This much distance is 18, and this much distance is, change in x is 45 minus 30 is how much?
10.
45 minus 30, Mubashir,
For time at 15 now.
15. So divide 18 by 15, what's the answer? 1.2 meter per second square.
1.2 meters. Yes, ma'am.
Again, I am repeating this question. Please listen very carefully. That how we have to find out the deceleration, that we have to start the point from where the car speed is going to decrease. So this is the point from where the car speed is going to decrease from this point to this point. So we can write that change in y over change in x. Change in y is 18. Remember, boys, this is very important point here, because you have done acceleration, but this is the deceleration. I think so. We are doing first time, so you can see here that the deceleration is the change in y. Change in y. What is change in y? You can write it as change in y over change in x. Change in y over change in x. So what is change in y? Change in y means this all this much length you have to write. This much length, that is from 0 to this point. 0 to 18 is this one, and change in x means the change in x is from 30 to 45, 45 to 30 you can write. So, or you can, if you want to write y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, that you can also write here. We have at this point we have x is equal to 40, x is equal to 30, 30, and y is equal to 18. Y is equal to, y is equal to what? No, this is not that. We will just see the change in y. Change in y is this much unit, all these units, and change in x are the units, the distance from 45 to 30, not 35, 30. So in this way, you can find out the deceleration. What is the last part? Because the time is over, I just want to discuss the question with you. Then I will share the answer sheet. Calculate the distance traveled in the first 45 seconds. How many seconds are there? 50, but we have to find out the distance covered under 45. This point is 45. How many figures are there? Yes, boys. How many figures are there? Look at the triangle. This is one triangle. This is the second triangle. And in between is which figure?
Rectangle.
Rectangle. Can you find out the area?
Yes, ma'am.
A1, A2, A3. What will be A1?
1 by
This is
2
the
divided
distance.
into height.
No, this is triangle. I'm just writing triangle. This is rectangle, and this is again triangle. You have to write find the area and then calculate. What is the last part? What is the last part of the question? Calculate the average speed. What is the formula for the average speed? Average speed is equal to total distance. This is total distance divided by total time. Total distance means the answer of the second part. That is the sum of areas, and the total time is how much? How much the total time graph is covered? Yes,
50.
boys. 45.
50 seconds.
Graph. We are talking about the graph covered. It is 45. So
40.
when you will write the answer for all the areas, the total distance area, the total distance covered under the graph, answer is coming 585, and when we divide it by 45 total time, so we are getting the answer that will be 13 meter per second. So there are three things. We have done acceleration, we have done deceleration, we have find out the distance, that is the sum of areas covered under the graph, and then we have done the average speed. These are the four things which are covered in whole exercise 7C. 4 points. Any problem in all these 4 points?
No, ma'am.
Can you do it easily by yourself? Yes, boys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I will share the answer key also.